Hey everybody, Melissa here. So have you ever had the perfect blog post topic picked out in that you know exactly what you want to write about and exactly what it should look like on your website? So you hop on out to Google, you start your research, then a couple hours has passed and you realize there is little to no information that you can find on Google about your topic. Or on the flip side of that, you do find information about your topic and you spend a couple of hours trying to pull it into a cohesive blog post, but it's just not working. Well, I'm going to put your mind at ease. Welcome to the world of blogging. We have all been there. But what I'm going to show you today is the article writer within RightBlogger that's going to help streamline that process. We're going to give it information like our topic and some other settings. It's going to go to Google and it's going to do the research. It's going to pull it back in along with the sources, and it's going to write a blog post. Then all we have to do is make sure everything we want in there is in there, do some fact checking, and get it posted to our website in a fraction of the time. I cannot wait to show you how this works. So let's go ahead and get started. To get to our article writer, we're going to go to Tools, and under Blogging Tools, it'll be the first thing we see in the middle. Over on the left, under Favorites, if you have it there, it'll be here. If you don't, if you go down to Blogging Tools, you'll see Article Writer, and you can select it from here, or you can click on your star, and it will add it to your favorites. Let's go ahead and select it. And you'll notice it says generate a full article using a topic or keyword. So that's the first thing we're going to do is define our topic or keyword. Since this is a travel blog and the holidays are coming up, I'm going to ask it, what are the best towns to visit for Christmas? So I put the best towns to visit for Christmas in the USA. Now I put in the USA here because this particular travel blog is for the United States only. If you were to leave this off, then RightBlogger would look for the best towns to visit all over the world. Now we have Edit Outline. Now this is one of my favorite features within RightBlogger, and we'll talk a little bit more in depth about it in just a few minutes, but it gives us the ability to change, rearrange, add, remove whatever RightBlogger is getting ready to include within our article. So it is just awesome that it's here. But again, we'll get to that in just a few minutes. So we're going to leave it on. Include images. Now, RightBlogger can access pixels and it can pull images into your blog post, but you will not get to preview those images, so you don't know if you'll like them, if you won't like them, if they'll be completely relevant, especially if you have a very, very specific topic for your blog. So this will be up to you. I use Unsplash Plus. I have a subscription to it, so I go get my own images, but for the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to turn it on so you can see how it works. Include links. I tell it to always include links because that's going to give me my sources where it got its information. That's going to allow me to more quickly fact check, and it can actually be used as potential backlinks. So I always tell it to include links. Use real-time data. Now this is in beta right now. However, in my experience, it does a fairly decent job of pulling current information from the web. But that doesn't mean you don't have to fact check or keep an eye on it. It just means it's going to do its best to pull more current information. So let's turn it on. Under tone and writing style, they've given us a bunch to choose from. There's default, creative, excited, professional, authoritative. I'm going to use casual. Now our language is English, which is fine. Under advanced, we're going to set our article length. We have short form and long form. Short form is under 1,000 words. Long form is more than 1,000 words. If I'm writing a blog post to accompany, say, this tutorial, it's probably going to be short form unless it's like a 20-minute or longer tutorial. Everything else that I do, and the majority of blog posts, are going to be more than 1,000 words. Whether it's health, beauty, fitness, travel, whatever, it's going to be long form. Our point of view, it defaults to automatic. It can be first person, I, we, you, they. I generally just keep it as automatic. And now we're going to click Generate. And here is our edit outline or outline editor. So what it's planning on writing is an introduction, and these are the places that it believes are the best places in the U.S. to visit for Christmas. And then each one of those is a H2 or a header 2. Then under there, it goes even deeper to have a header 3 to say within New York City, you have to go to Rockefeller Center and you have to go ice skating in Central Park. It does the same thing for Asheville, Leavenworth, Santa Claus, Indiana, which this is pretty close to where I live. So I've been to Santa Claus, Indiana, and it is worth the trip. New Mexico and Williamsburg, Virginia. And this is where we can start making changes. If I wanted to move New York, I would just grab it and I would move it. And if you notice, it takes H2 and H3 with it, but I'm going to leave it alone. If I wanted to remove something, I could trash it. If I want to change the name of it, I can edit, but I can also add. So let's go down to the bottom and we're going to say add outline item. Now, one of the things that is awesome in New York City is around Christmas is the Rockettes Christmas show at Radio City Music Hall. So once you have it named, tell it OK. And you notice it puts it at the bottom before your conclusion as an H2. Well, I want to move it to New York, so I'm going to grab it and I'm going to scroll up and I want it to be an H3. So I'm going to drop it under the other H3s. So now under New York, we have Rockefeller Center Christmas Tree, ice skating in Central Park, and the Rockettes Christmas Spectacular at Radio City Music Hall. Now, if we like the way this looks and we're good with it, we can go ahead and tell it to generate again. And this time it's going to generate the article. Please do not exit this page. Please don't exit this page because it will lose everything it's done, including its outline. And in less than 5 minutes, our article is finished. If you look down at the bottom, it is 2,829 words, which is an incredibly beautiful sweet spot for an article of this topic. It has our introduction, and there's New York City. It's included some pictures and put where we've got them. It has included links for our sources, official website links. Now you want to check and make sure that these are valid links. To do that, we can just right click, open in a new tab, and this is a valid link. So that is awesome, but you want to make sure that you check them all. And then we can scroll on down, and you'll take a closer look than I am. I'm just showing you what it looks like. And at the bottom, we're going to have our conclusion. So I want to point out something to you that happened in both the introduction and the conclusion. And it's not a big deal. It happens, but you just need to make sure that you change it however you want it to be changed. Now, if you notice, it says from the snow-covered mountains of Aspen, Colorado to the peaceful coastal charm of Maine. Let's look at our intro. Our introduction has Aspen, Colorado, Maine, and Vail, Colorado. Now here is the potential issue. None of these 3 places are listed in the body of our blog post. Now what I usually do, and it doesn't happen often, but it does happen from time to time, is I rephrase this a little bit to include some of the cities we have, or from coast to coast, or say from north to south, and just kind of take the cities out of there that aren't listed in here out of the intro and outro. But how you handle that is up to you. So now beside our word count, we have a thumbs up and a thumbs down. And I do use these, and I'm going to tell you why it's a pretty good idea, but it'll still be up to you. So if you go over this and it completely missed the mark in that we're writing about Christmas, and it says, hey, here's some Halloween cities. Well, that completely missed the mark. I would probably give it a thumbs down. Now, what that does is it tells the developers on the back end, yeah, we may have a little bit of a disconnect, and then they can make some tweaks or they can look to see what's happening, but it's not necessarily a bad thing to give it a dislike. Now, if you just don't like what it says because you just don't like it, that's different. But what I kind of view this as is kind of reporting issues back to the developers so that they kind of know what's going on and they can tweak it. Now, if it is good and it hit the mark, then give it a thumbs up, and that also gives that feedback to where they kind of know, hey, it's working good, it's doing good. But it just kind of helps the developers on the back end make sure that we are getting what we need when we use their tool. Now we have the ability to share, download, or copy. So if we share it and we enable this, it's going to give us a link to send out to anyone we want to have it. If we go to download, we can download it as a Word document, a Markdown, or plain text. Or we can copy it. I just use copy because I go straight from RightBlogger into WordPress. So let's click copy. So now I'm going to paste it. And sometimes it puts the title in here twice. So I'm just going to go ahead and take one of them out. And if we look at our headline analyzer, we're in the 70s. It's green. It is awesome. If you want to try to get it into the 80s or 90s, you can. But this is really good coming straight out of RightBlogger. But let's look at the rest of our post. So our images came over okay. Our headers came over, which is awesome. Our links came over, and we can check them just like we did over in RightBlogger. And it's a good link, but make sure you check them all. These images look great. And there is our conclusion. So that all looks pretty good. Now, something else I love about RightBlogger that makes my job so much faster and easier has to do with SEO. So if we look at this SEO analysis, it's red, and it's probably always going to be because there's things in here RightBlogger cannot do for us. We have to put in our own internal links. We have to do our own meta description. But the things that it did do, it put in those outbound links. Awesome. Images, awesome. Text length, awesome. But what I really want to focus on is this readability analysis. Now, I have maybe had 2 times in the entire time I've been using RightBlogger for this to be orange. Now, it wasn't even red, it was orange. But what this looks for is sentence length, passive voice, consecutive sentences, word complexity. And what this equates to is whenever a visitor comes to your website and they're looking at one of your blog posts, it's going to be easy for them to understand and easy for them to read, and that is extremely important. Now all you have to do is make sure that everything's in here that you want, double check your images, your links, and you'll be ready to get it posted and live on your website. And that's it for today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this in the future, be sure to click that subscribe button before you leave. And don't forget to hop on out to my website, melissacompton.com, for written instructions for this tutorial and so much more. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.